guys, and welcome to my review of HeroAca Chapter 240, Power. Oh, this chapter, I was... Oh, God, I was excited reading this chapter, and it was a roller coaster of emotions. Remember last time when I said, well, there are two routes we can go now. We can either jump back to the heroes, or we can have another chapter with the villains. And then if we go to the heroes, that's probably going to be scary, because then we won't know what the fuck the villains are up to. I think what Hori did here is scarier, because, oh my god. Let's start from the beginning, because there was so much. Obviously, as I said last time, the Metal Liberation Army has all the tools they need to just fake a story of what happened in this town, and they did very perfectly. They had this whole story about how 20 terrorists came and had planned this attack by tricking the heroes away from the town so that they wouldn't be available, and then they came to attack, and the townspeople fought back because there were no heroes, and yada yada. And they covered up pretty well by saying well, all the 20 terrorists had died, because then there's no one to question. And when it's a whole town that's yeah, this is what happened, it's hard to question it. And the one, even though there were complaints about how quirks shouldn't have been used because people aren't allowed to use quirks if you don't have a hero license, the townspeople obviously still hail as hero, because if this had been the real story, then obviously if you're attacked, you should defend yourself. That is also allowed. You are allowed to use your quirks in self-defense, I believe, is one of the rules. So obviously, again, the people aren't wrong for believing that the townspeople were heroes, if the story had been true, But I like the fact that we had the little note that there are still mysteries surrounding the whole incident, and it is therefore still under investigation, because it would have been really scary if the police and all the heroes had been yeah, that sounds credible, let's just roll with that. Oh god, because at least if it's under investigation, there's a chance that someone could uncover something, even if it's minor. But then we jump to the League of Villains, and they're finally getting that well-deserved sushi. I mean, that was a good highlight, a moment where I was genuinely happy, because they were just sitting there enjoying their sushi, except for Dabi, who doesn't like fish, and it was just a nice moment. And you had some comedy with Twice mourning the dead clone Toga, and Toga, the real Toga, is just sitting there looking completely messed up. She has a thing over her eye, a patch over her eye, and she just has bandages, and she just looks fucked up. But yeah, they get called in, and we cut over to Redestro and Shigaraki standing on the stage, and we have Redestro who's talking about the transformation of the Metal Liberation Army and all this yada 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 stuff, and he's intense. I am expecting whoever's gonna voice this character to just be extra, because he seems so into Shigaraki at this point. He's just Shigaraki, yay. And it's oh my god, he's announcing obviously not even their corporate, it's the Metal Liberation Army is fully under the League of Villains now, because they're not co-leaders. It's Shigaraki who is the Grand Commander, and then Redestro is on the same level as, the commanders of the League of Villains, Spinner, Toga, yada yada yada. He's on that level, so Shigaraki is just, the top, which is really scary, because Shigaraki even admits, when he's reading everything up, he literally just mumbles. I'm sure he's not saying this very loud, but he just says I don't care, we're just gonna do whatever we want to do, because he's there for the power and the money, it seems. It's just here to destroy everything. It's just really scary. I really love the detail that he's just sitting in this couch chair thingy, and there's the crutch beside him. You can see he has a thingy on his leg because he's injured, obviously, and he's just reading everything from this little piece of paper. Because, again, he's not the type of person to really have, this grand of a plan, because he just wants to destroy. And the whole thing in the Metal Liberation Army is doing what? By slowly, channeling their influence through society and the way that the Metal Liberation Army has been doing it so far. That's not really Shigaraki's style. But I'm sure he's just gonna let that continue to be the case, because obviously that's the way they're still gonna get money, and it's the way it's worked so far, and it hasn't really it hasn't gone wrong for them until they met the League of Villains. So but one of the big things about this speech is that the Meta Liberation Army and the League of Villains are uniting under a new name. And when they said they were like mashing together names and like getting rid of the villain thing because we can't be seen as villains, I was like, you know what? The League of Liberation, that sounds great. And then they're like the Paranormal Liberation Front, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, are we sure this is the name we want to go with? I'm really like questioning this, and I will forever know them as the League of Villains. I'm gonna try my best to call them the Paranormal Liberation Front, but Shigaraki cares about as little for that name as I do, so I don't know. It sounds tacky, and like you had a doctor later in the chapter who's like, oh, the League of Villains, I'm glad you got rid of that name because that sounded tacky. And I'm sitting here like, and you don't think the Paranormal Liberation Front sounds tacky and long? Oh dear. I hope it sounds better in Japanese, but I mean, it just, really now, really? Anyway, what's my next note? That whole thing, but I love how Redresso is just like, just basically like kissing the ground that Shigaraki walks on. He's just worshipping him. He was this scary, scary villain with this scary, scary power, and now he's just like, whatever you say, Shigaraki, whatever you say. Oh god, it's the power Shigaraki has now is, I said this last time too, is crazy. I can't get over the power he has, and I'm so happy that he doesn't actually care that much. Because I feel like if he had, like, if he was Redestra, like, if you merged those two characters together, he'd probably take over, like, at least the whole of Japan. Regardless, we cut to Hawks. And oh boy, I feel for him so badly. I mean, this poor guy is supposed to be undercover, and he's just, like, witnessing the biggest threat they're gonna face. And it's like, at this point, he's probably like, well, did I kill Best Jeanist? And is that even Best Jeanist? I'm still a bit 50-50 on that, because even Dabi points out, like, even if this isn't the real Jeanist, you still murdered someone and then made them look like Jeanist. So, like, Hawks has blood on his hands, at the very least. And I'm just sitting here, like, if this is really Jeanist, and I'm like, it could go either way. I'm gonna count him as dead for now. But, like, if he's really dead, that means that Horikoshi went out of his way to not have him killed when he was being a pro hero going up against All for One. Like, that could have been a really cool death. Like, he sacrificed his own life to save, like, all the heroes around him from this crazy attack from this crazy ass villain that went, like, toe to toe with All Might. He could have died like that. He could have died a real hero. But instead, he is killed by a fellow hero in his own apartment. I'm just like, that's mean. That's evil, Hori. Like, anyway. I feel for Hawks. I really do. Like, it's quite clear that this mission was something he would never have chosen by himself. And he's probably quite uncomfortable in this situation, but he knows that at this point he has to try. Even if he doesn't want to, he has to try, because he's literally the best shot that they have of gaining any sort of information, because they can't have another person go undercover. Yeah, it's a mess. And I'm just like, at the end when Hawks is just talking about, like, okay, I need to get behind all this before I call in everyone, and I'm just sitting here like, I swear to God, this week could be just the heroes like, oh, Best Jeanist is assumed dead, like, on Monday, and then on Tuesday, oh, Hawks found dead in a gutter. Like, I don't know what will happen to Hawks, and I'm seriously scared he might just die. Because I don't think that they're gonna buy that he's on their side. Like, I don't know, like, Dabi, first of all, I don't think Dabi trusts anyone. Shigaraki, I doubt he's gonna trust anyone who's affiliated with Heroes whatsoever. I don't see who's gonna fall for this, even if Hawks is new and obviously, like, there isn't much to go on with him, but, like, I just really don't see how he's gonna pull this off. He's either gonna die or get very, 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 very hurt. There's no way he's gonna come out of this as okay. He might not even be a hero after this, whether that's of his own violation or because volition, or just because he's too broken. I don't know. Anyway, going back to because I jumped to the ending, we have Shigaraki, who after he collapses, he's talking to the doctor, and the doctor agrees that now that he's tamed Gigantomachia, he should give him the power that he was promised. However, there's still one thing left that he has to do first. And I'm just sitting here like, what is the last thing Shigaraki has to do before he can gain this power that the doctor has wanted him? Because, like, when he says, oh, the power, my whole thing is like, well, Shigaraki has to get all for one eventually, right? So the power should be all for one. So the power of all for one. So is the last task breaking all for one the person out of prison? Is the last task finding and rescuing Kurogiri so that they can find and rescue all for one? Hopefully also breaking Stain out of prison because they're, like, in the same place. I mean, it could be, that's, like, the things I can think of that they need to break someone out, because, like, for the main crew of the League of Villains, because that's what I'm gonna keep calling them, Kurogiri is very, very important as a player, and it kind of feels weird to not have him here. I kind of miss him. I've been rewatching and rereading a lot of My Hero, and Kurogiri is great. He's probably one of my favorites of all the League of Villains. And I'm sure we're gonna see Stain again, and there's just no way. I had a really fun conversation with my one of my friends yesterday, and I was just talking about, like, well, if they do break Stain out, since he's so anti-League of Villains anyway, it would be really fun to see him act like as a vigilante, so he's not on the side of the heroes or the villains, but he's just, like, basically doing what he did before, except he's not just punishing heroes, but also the villains that he's against. I think that'd be really, really interesting, because it's one of those things where the hero's like, well, if he doesn't really bother us too much, maybe we should just kind of let him do what he's doing, because sure, he's bad and he's a murderer, and sometimes he kills a hero or two, but he's also, like, killed maybe, like, or hurt League of Villains members, and he's gotten close to them, whatever. It would just be really interesting to see how other people would tackle that problem, and just maybe we could see, like, a couple of chapters with Shigaraki, or Stain, not Shigaraki. Yeah, I thought that'd be a really, really interesting take on it, because I doubt if Stain gets out of prison, he's gonna go back to the path, the exact same path that he was on, because even though he has his ideals, I doubt we're gonna see the same story twice. So I just thought that would be really, really interesting if he, like, really goes vigilante and just takes out not just heroes but villains too, who are not upholding his ideal. Because what he did, as they mentioned in his arc, like, when he came to his towns and did the villainous things he did, the crime rate, it got lower. So, you know, he was doing good for society by doing really, really bad things for society. So yeah, that's just pure speculation. But this chapter was all around crazy, and I'm scared. At this point, again, I don't know where we're going next chapter. Are we gonna? I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna stick to the league or we're gonna go back to our heroes. It could go either way. But yeah, it was really good. I was really, really excited when I read this chapter. This arc has just been really, really good. Yeah, I'm really excited to see more. But this got long again, so if you like anything that it has to, you can leave a like. You can leave in the comments below what you thought of this chapter. What do you think of the new name, the Paranormal Liberation Front? Because I swear to God, I've not seen a person yet who likes this name. And yeah, you can subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, bye.